Hello, friends. Have you ever watched a Hollywood movie? When a hacker makes a move, there's always a waterfall of green code across the screen, followed by a deep voiceover saying, "They're in the system." But what if I told you that the most powerful hackers today might not even be human? OpenAI recently dropped a bombshell, an AI powered by GPT-5, codenamed Aardvark. OpenAI describes it as a defender and an agentic security researcher. However, media headlines latched onto another phrase. It can autonomously scan, exploit, and patch software vulnerabilities. Wait a minute, an AI that can automatically exploit vulnerabilities? This brings us to the core existential question. When you create the world's strongest watchdog, have you also created the most perfect thief? Today, let's dissect what this Aardvark actually is and how it differs from your antivirus software. First, why do we need this thing? Because we are drowning in our own poorly written code. In 2024 alone, over 40,000 new vulnerabilities or CVEs have been reported. Defenders are working themselves to death trying to patch them all. Traditional antivirus software or scanning tools on your computer are like a security guard with poor eyesight. He only has a photo album of known bad guys, which are called signatures. If a bad guy gets plastic surgery, or if it's an insider causing damage, which is called a logic error, the guard wouldn't even notice. But Aardvark is different. It's not a security guard, it's Sherlock Holmes. It's an agentic AI. It has its own ideas. You don't need to handhold it, just give it a goal, like protect this code base, and it can formulate its own plans, use tools, and conduct research. Aardvark's workflow is like a mini spy movie, divided into 4 stages. Stage 1 is analysis. It will first read all your code and build a unique threat model to understand your architecture and security goals. Stage 2 is commit not new in stage training, not buying $10 million in tax. Once the model is built, it starts monitoring 24/7. Every time a programmer submits a new line of code, it immediately reviews it. Stage 3 is validation. This is the most impressive part. When it suspects a vulnerability, it doesn't immediately cry wolf, which would cause alert fatigue. Instead, it runs into an isolated sandbox environment, which is a secure, virtual, small room, and actually attacks and exploits that vulnerability itself. Only when it confirms that the vulnerability can indeed be exploited, does it move to the next step. This eliminates a huge number of false positives. Stage 4 is patching. After confirming the vulnerability, it calls upon its sibling, OpenAI Codex, an AI specifically designed to write code, to generate a targeted patch on the spot. Finally, it delivers this one-click patch, along with a complete explanatory report to the human developer, saying, "Boss, I found the vulnerability, tested it, and here's the antidote. Just give me the go-ahead." This directly transforms humans from the arduous task of reviewing 1,000 alerts to approving 5 confirmed patches. The repair time is shortened from weeks or months to just a few minutes. When this exploit and patch monster appeared, the entire security community exploded, instantly dividing into 5 major factions. First, there are the defensive optimists, whose main view is, we're going to win. This is OpenAI's official stance. They believe that the biggest injustice in cybersecurity lies in asymmetry. Hackers only need to find one vulnerability to win, while we must patch all vulnerabilities. Aardvark is here to turn the tide. Its most powerful aspect is democratization. Previously, only top security experts hired by Google and Microsoft could afford such services, but now, even a resource-limited open-source project can enjoy it for free. Next, we have the offensive pessimists, whose main view is, you've created the perfect weapon. These people are directly terrified. They say, a tool that can scan, exploit, and patch, if you just turn off the patching function, isn't it a fully automated attack weapon? What if this model is stolen or reverse engineered? Moreover, offensive AI has existed for a long time. Russian malware is already using LLMs for automated attacks, and hackers are using a tool called Hexstrike-AI to build autonomous attack agents. Aardvark is just joining this dangerous game that has already begun. Then there are the arms race realists, whose main view is, the era of AI versus AI has arrived. These people are calmer, saying, stop arguing, Aardvark's appearance has forced the situation to escalate. Now, all major companies and countries must develop their own AI hacking tools or they will fall behind. Cybersecurity is no longer a game between humans but AI versus AI. Security giants like Palo Alto Networks have explicitly stated AI defense is no longer an option, it's a necessity. Following them are the technology neutralists, whose main view is the knife is neutral, it depends on who uses it. These people believe that tools are innocent. A knife can cut vegetables or hurt people. Interestingly, Google's Threat Intelligence Group, or GTIG, actually observed how nation-state hackers use AI. And guess what? AI, for now, has not changed the game like in the movies. Hackers mainly use it for troubleshooting, writing reports, and content generation, basically treating it as an advanced assistant rather than an autonomous weapon. Finally, we have the industry transformers, whose main view is, no matter what you're arguing about, my job has already changed. These are the frontline CISOs, or Chief Information Security Officers, and programmers. They say, ethical issues aside, my job is about to change. The work of white hat hackers will shift from finding vulnerabilities to managing AI that finds vulnerabilities. Remember Aardvark's 92% detection rate? It can automatically handle 92% of common errors, so what do humans do? The new job for human analysts is to tackle the 8% that AI didn't find. Those complex logical vulnerabilities that require advanced intuition, creativity, and a deep understanding of the business. The human role has upgraded from technician to AI manager and strategist. However, Aardvark is not fighting alone. As soon as it appeared, it found the battlefield already crowded with opponents. Google's Code Mender can not only patch, but also rewrite vulnerable code to prevent future exploitation. It has already reported 72 security fixes, compared to Aardvark's 10 CVEs, and Google is integrating it into key open source projects. Then there's the Startup Expo. This company is even more aggressive, directly treating AI as a bounty hunter, scanning for vulnerability bounties online 24/7. It is said to have topped the HackerOne platform. But ironically, Expo's founder said that the money earned from vulnerability bounties isn't even enough to pay for the AI's electricity bill. This small detail reveals a cruel truth. AI security is an extremely expensive business. Ultimately, only those with money, computing power, and who also build foundational models, like OpenAI and Google, might be able to play. Let's go back to the original question. Is it a guardian or a hacker? First, the name Aardvark is brilliant. What does an aardvark do in the ecosystem? Its sole job is to dig holes and eat termites and ants. In cybersecurity jargon, bugs have always been compared to pests. OpenAI is using this metaphor to tell us that vulnerabilities are not an enemy to be defeated with weapons. They are more like termites, a persistent environmental problem that you can never completely eliminate. Aardvark is not a warrior, it's a pest control system. So, my view is that it is neither a perfect guardian nor a perfect hacker. It's not a guardian because it has an 8% misdetection rate. It cannot 100% protect you. It still requires meaningful human control. It's not a perfect hacker because it lacks human intuition. While offensive tools like Hexstrike AI are fast, they cannot yet replicate the most complex multi-step attack chains. Aardvark's true identity is a catalyst. Its true historical significance lies not in what it did itself, but in its existence forcing everyone else to do something. By becoming the first AI security agent released by an industry giant with a public track record, Aardvark has irreversibly accelerated this AI versus AI arms race. It is the starting gun. A new era of AI-driven cyber warfare has officially begun. So, are you ready to transform from a technician to an AI manager? Do you think this AI arms race will ultimately be a good thing or a bad thing?